but the Ghana Union of Traders is also concerned that the mining sector is being hijacked by foreigners. Joining us now via Zoom is Dr. Joseph Obeng. He happens to be president of the Ghana Union of Traders, and in fact they are also raising some issues about the economic meltdown. So we'll box all of the issues together. Dr. Obeng, thank you and welcome to the Pulse. I can hear you loud and clear. So let's start off, since we're talking about this issue of illegal mining. Earlier you issued a statement indicating clearly that some of the sectors, the extractive specifically, the mining sector, was being hijacked by foreigners, a reason for which we're experiencing, for instance, the meltdown in our economy. So take it off on the issue of illegal mining, and then we delve into the economy.
About Galamsey. You recall that Galamsey have been there in the past, so many years ago, and it was not even affecting our water bodies. Galamsey have been there so many years. But when the foreigners, the Chinese, started coming with their chamfai and all that, that's where the Ghanaians started to know that technology of applying the chamfans in our rivers and all that. So the influx of foreigners in that industry have created a lot of mess for the country. And that's why we have to make everything possible to uproot the influx of these Chinese. I don't know how they are able to come here, because they said that they come here in connivance with some Ghanaian counterparts and all that. So laws have to be revised. And if you have to make sure that they are not here, or even the use of chamfai itself is not even conducive for mining, then we have to use the law to revise and streamline the activities of mining in this country.
Right. I recall that in the statement you issued earlier, you were talking about the fact that there's capital flight, where all of these foreigners, in the end, take the dollars out of the economy, and it's partly accounting for where we are today. How so?
Yeah, because you recall that when President Akufo-Addo came, he went to Dubai or some of sort, and they noticed that the bulk of the gold that goes there, about 7 billion, yet we have only 2 billion that is recorded here. That's what we call capital flight. So how were they able to even export the gold without us even recording the figures, without us getting the tax, and they were able to smuggle them all out? So when we say that the dominance of foreigners in the extractive and then the juiciest part of our economy is having a toll on our economy, it is very true. And so even the Galamsey issue is a clear case. We have been there, our locals, indigenous, were doing it in a small manner and all that. And these foreigners came and then they made the Galamsey even bigger as a huge industry, brought machinery that destroyed water bodies and all that. Because otherwise this thing wasn't there. So they came
right. But be it as it may,
we don't see money that turns up also.
Right. And be it as it may, we are facing that economic challenge. And here we are. The Bank of Ghana is increasing its policy rate, the highest since 2017. At the time it was increased, just a couple of months back, you issued that statement saying it was going to crowd out or affect the business community. How are you receiving all of this and knowing or learning of this new policy approach by the World Bank? You say that the situation may get worse for you as traders here in Ghana.
Yeah, we have to diagnose what our problem is, and then we have to find an appropriate solution. We are talking about inflation, and that we wanted to minimize inflation by using the monetary policy rate to cap up excess liquidity and all that, to make sure that inflation is under control. But is that what we are seeing? We've increased the monetary policy rate this year alone 4 times. And if you do something more than 3 times and it's not yielding the results, do you continue to do that? It means that you are giving a wrong diagnosis to the problem. And that's exactly what they are doing. That we are having is a cost push. It's not the vice versa. where the economists normally refer, that there's excess liquidity in the system, so mop it up so that it will suppress inflation. And so by increasing the monetary policy rate, all that they've succeeded in doing is to compound the problem.
Practically speaking, how will this affect you? Because the Bank of Ghana is also explaining, well, that they need to take the immediate and necessary action to save the economy. You can't have anything if everything is gone. I guess that's the analogy here.
But what is the reason for the monetary policy rate? It's to curb inflation. It's as simple as that. And you've done it 3 times, it never solved the problem. So it means that it's not a panacea. And it's worsening the plight of the people. And as a matter of fact, the monetary policy rate is contributing to the inflation hikes in the country. That's all that I'm talking about. So it is not the right diagnosis that we are using. And that, so far as we keep up doing that, is tearing the business apart. Because let me give you this. The default rate in this country for loan payment is going to go up. Most people started the year with 20% interest rate. And now the same loan is to cough about 38%. Because once they've raised the monetary policy rate to about 24 point something, it means that it's going to trickle down to the interest rate, and it will, the banks are very responsive when it comes to this. And then it's going to go to about beyond 35% and going to about 40%. And who is to bear this at this time? And Bank of Ghana is to be blamed for all the problems that we are facing now.
When you raise that point, and Doc, when you raise that point, the central bank governor has spoken on it. He says, well, don't blame us because we are fixing the problem.
No, they are not fixing anything. They are clueless. As I can even say, I can confidently say, because if they are solving a problem, what problem are they solving? Is it not inflation? And if you solve it and you keep on going up, it means that you are doing the wrong thing. We have to sit down. And that's why I've called somewhere that we have to make a national dialogue, because they are clueless. More people have to come in and dialogue about this economy. It's getting worse. It's getting out of hand. Now, dollar is 11 Ghana cedis. Whilst they are not able to even control the dollar, they don't know that the foreign exchange, whilst it goes up, is contributing to inflation. Ask them if they know that. If the foreign exchange keep on going up and up, the dollar now 11, doesn't it contribute to inflation? And so if you want to solve inflation, then what you have to do is to make sure that you work on the forest or the city that is so depreciating. And if you are not able to do that, all that you know is that when there's inflation in our secondary school books, you have to increase monetary policy rate, and you keep on adding up. And then if the people can be able to contain it or not, businesses are dying. Because we are talking about the banking industry. You know how people have been convinced before we started trading with the banks. Before then, people were putting their monies under the bed. And then we've come this far, and people have understood banking. And now we are working so hard to, because people are going to default their payments, and nobody should begrudge them. You started the year with about 20%, and now the banks are going to be responsible. They are not going to say that because you started with 20% with this, we are leaving you. And so they are going to add up. How do you pay if the money is so big? It means that it's going to compound your problem, and it runs it into bankruptcy. It's very unfortunate. We should sit down.
The last time you held a press briefing, you indicated that there was a need for a dialogue. Government then responded by coming to the dialogue table through the Council of State. I recall you meeting the Council of State, and the Council of State obviously spearheading that dialogue that you are calling for between business community and the government. How is that negotiation going on? And am I getting a sense that it's not positive in terms of the outcomes?
I would say that it's not positive because it's about two months now. As you may recall, when we wanted to embark on our demonstration, and then Council of State complained. And that we have given all possible reasons why the problem solutions also. And we give them the meeting with the Council of State. We are waiting because we are discussing. We have to run up when the IMF came. So most players went on meetings, and so probably next week we have to conclude with the Council of State.
Okay, so let me get you clear. Let me get you clear on that point. So what you are telling us now, is that engagement, the negotiation you entered with the Council of State, will wrap up next week.
That's what we've been told. The committee that we are working.
So what practically? What have you come? What have you agreed on? Practically speaking, what did you agree on with government as part of the measures to either cushion indigenous Ghanaian businesses? Dr. Obeng, are you with me? I'm just asking practically what you have agreed on with government. What did you agree on with government?
Some of the things that is mitigating against our plight. Mm-hmm. And so regarding the foreign exchange, the interest rate and all that. And we gave so many reasons. And we said that we can use the investment laws and other laws to contain this situation. And that we have outlined all these things with Council of State, and they give it to the different institutions that this information is needed. And that they have to come, we have to come and then finish up with this report and then give them maybe report, the overall report, and then they can use it or adopt it and start working with it. And that's what we are in waiting. Okay. And then Bank of Ghana is still increasing the monetary policy rate because we have also complained against that they cannot use it as a solution, and that what they have to use as a solution is to make sure that they manage the currency well, so that there should be a stability in the depreciation of the cedi, rather than the problem that we face. Otherwise, they can use the monetary policy rate increase to solve inflation. So we've given so many diverse, and then some things that I cannot say on air that they might use to solve this situation.
Okay, we need to go, but as we wrap up, if things continue the way they are going, what's the option for Guta? Finally,
it means that we have to listen to what the calls from our members, because our members cannot wait again. Let me tell you what is happening now in the country now, from the importers, from the retailers, wholesalers, and then the consuming public. First, it should be frustration that we're expressing. Now the frustration is giving way for anger. And this is a free consultation for the national security, for the government, for everybody. But you can see anger in the customer, where he has come for his pro forma earlier quotation of about 2 months ago, and it was 10,000 Ghana cedis. He come again and it's 20,000 Ghana cedis. The person now is not only frustrated, he is very annoyed and angry at what? We don't know what they are annoyed of, but let's take it as a caution, and then know what. So we wouldn't have any option if nothing is done than to listen to the calls of our teaming members on the ground. That's all.
Dr. Joseph Obeng is president of the Ghana Union Traders Association. Thank you for your time here on The Pulse, and you're watching The Pulse on the Joy News channel. When we return, we're putting a spotlight on Ghana's public sector. We will attempt some solutions shortly.